All right, so in today's video, we're going to be working on a 3-point linear perspective demonstration. In this demo, we're going to be doing worm's eye. So last one we did with 3-point was bird's eye, so you're looking down at the ground where your buildings are. With worm's eye, you're standing on the ground looking up at your buildings. So for this to work, you have to have your horizon line pretty low. So I'm going to put mine not quite at the bottom of the page, but pretty low, so I've mostly sky up here. Keep your horizon line horizontal. All right, so in this one, we are still putting our 2 vanishing points at each end of our horizon line. And our third vanishing point is going to go up here in the air. So up top, right about here. It doesn't have to be centered, but you want it to be kind of close. So I'm going to start with a building. I'm not going to start with like a road or anything this time because, again, you can't see a whole lot of the ground. So I'm just going to start with the bottom, or where I want to place the bottom of the building. So I'm going to start with my ruler lined up over here to the right vanishing point and draw a line to the bottom of the page. Then I'm going to line my ruler up here with my top vanishing point and figure out where this first corner is going to go. I think about that tall is pretty good. So then I'm going to line my ruler up down here at the bottom of that line with the left vanishing point and draw a line. I'm probably not going to keep most of this. I think I'm going to put a building in this area here, so draw this part lightly. Okay. Then I'm going to connect the top of this line to the right vanishing point. And again, draw this lightly because you're probably not going to keep the whole thing. And then do the same thing to the left. All right, so I kind of think of this building as like a downtown like city house. So there's going to be a little awning, there's going to be some steps, some windows. It's going to be maybe 3 floors tall. Remember, the farther away it gets, in this case up, the smaller the objects are going to be. So I'm going to figure out where exactly I want my stairs to go first. So let's add maybe the end of the stairs right here. And then let's figure out where the other side of the building is going to be. So maybe about right here is where the other side is. And again, I'm not going to worry about drawing the other side here because I'm going to have another building kind of taking up this space, so you're not going to see that side. All right, so I have that. And let's figure out where the other side, so if this is pretty close here, that means it's probably going to be about right there for the back end of the stairs. Now I'm only drawing this as like a guide because I don't know how much, if I'm even going to see that line at all. I just want to, actually that's a little too close. Let me push it back a little bit. I'm only drawing it for reference reasons. If I need it, I'll keep it. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to use it. All right, so I'm going to line up the bottom of this line to the left vanishing point because my stairs are poking out. They're sitting on the sidewalk here. Again, I don't know how long this is going to be. And I'm going to do the same thing right here, but this line's going to be short. Okay, so when you're drawing stairs in any kind of perspective, you want to draw the side that's closest to you first, like draw the whole silhouette. So we've got the top of the stairs and the bottom of the stairs. Now I have to draw these little pieces that are going down and out. So first we're going to line up with the line we just drew at the top of the stairs here with our third vanishing point. Draw a little line right there. Line that up with the left vanishing point, since it's got to be parallel to this and that line. Draw a little line again. Line it up again with this vanishing point, because now we're going down. A little bit longer. And then again this way. I might get rid of a little bit of that line. Yeah, just a smidgen. Okay, and then finally, this goes probably down to the end of the page. We'll see. I'll have to see if it lines up with this. It doesn't quite. Does not quite line up with that line. Actually, I need to redraw that line anyway. Hold on. Okay, right there. That's about where it goes. So then erase that little bit of line that's intersecting that. We don't need it. Okay, so now we're connecting all of these corners to the right vanishing point. Again, draw these lightly because you're not going to keep the whole thing. Okay, so I know this is the back end of my stairs. So I'm actually going to line up my ruler with the left vanishing point and this corner here. So this is going to get a little confusing, so make sure you know which one you're lining up to. So remember that line I drew over here to get the other side of the stairs, and I told you I was probably not going to keep that line. It's just for reference. This is the reference, so I can figure out actually how far out these go. So I'm going to draw a light line to here. Now this is the back end. Okay, so this is the line that's parallel to this one. This one was parallel to this one, so up against the wall. Now I can do the rest of my lines from here since I know where it starts and where it ends. So I'm going to line up my ruler with this intersection over here and my vanishing point up top. Draw that line between these two lines here, right there, that little line. Then I'm going to line up with my left vanishing point and the top of that line there. And draw between these two lines. I know this is really confusing here, so you got to really pay attention. Okay, so I just did that, and I can get rid of that little bit. I'm going to erase the extra lines as I go so things aren't as confusing. All right, now line up to the top vanishing point with the edge of this line here. Then I'm going to line up again. This is very tiny, so this is going to be a really small line here. Okay, so that little line, then it's up again. All right, and that's the end of the stairs. I'm going to erase lines that are cutting through that I don't need. Let me go back and darken up this line because I didn't want to erase it. Get rid of that line. And then get rid of these. Okay, so now I have my stairs. I know that was a lot of steps, but again, draw this part first, then line each of these corners up with the right vanishing point. You should have drawn a line to get the back reference for this, and then you're going to draw a line from the base of the building and that intersection there, so this was the base of the building, to the line here. All right, and that's how you figure out the back end of the stairs. All right, so now we're going to draw the rest of the details on this building. There's an awning, so I've got to figure out first where I want my windows to be on the first floor. So maybe about this high, maybe a little wider. So I think about that high, and maybe here. Of course, the door is going to go somewhere in there. All right, so that means that my awning needs to be a little bit above those windows. So I'm going to draw it about right here. Okay, so this is the part of the awning that's right up against the wall. So I've got to line up my ruler with the left vanishing point now, and it's going to go out this way. Okay, so like you're looking up at the underside of this awning. You're going to do the same thing on this side. So again, I don't know which parts of those lines I'm keeping, so I drew them lightly. Line up your ruler again with the right vanishing point and draw a line between those two lines. So there you go. Again, I'm going to erase whatever is extra. I don't need this line here that's going from the top of the building to the vanishing point, and I don't need these little extra lines coming off of the awning. I'm also going to erase the side of the building where it goes through the awning. This will help make sense a little bit. So now it looks like you're looking up at the bottom of something. So from these two corners and this corner, I'm going to draw little lines up to my top vanishing point. All right, so I have these lines. Again, I'm probably not going to keep all of it. Since this one looks like it's the shortest one, I'm going to use that one as a reference. So first I'm going to line up the top of this one with the left vanishing point, and I'm going to draw from here to this line. All right, now I'm going to line up the top of this line to the right vanishing point. I'm going to draw from here to this line. And I'm going to erase what's extra. Okay, so now I have this much space up here. I've got to put some window lines up here. So I'm going to go ahead and figure that out. So I think that's good for the base of my second floor windows. Maybe they're about this tall. Again, they should be getting shorter the farther up they go. All right, so I've got my 3 floors here. Now I can figure out the door up front, and again, that's going to go all the way down to this line here, and then my windows and how they're going to look. So first I'm going to line up to the vanishing point up top to try to get these sides done. I'm only drawing between the large gaps. So these windows I'm drawing are going to be the largest ones that we see. Next we got the door and then the 2 windows above. I may actually make the doorway wide and like maybe 2 windows wide. Maybe it's a double door. I probably need to move them over. So let me do that really quick because I made the first one too small. It's okay if you guys don't like how it looks, you can just erase it, fix it, you know. It's the beauty of erasers. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so I'm going to darken up the lines I'm keeping. It might help if you, like how we done in the previous videos where we just add a little bit of light shading to kind of identify which areas are windows and which areas are not windows. This is a door, so I gotta add a line in there. Let me do that. It's a double door actually. There. All right, so I'm just gonna erase this line here since I don't need that. Okay, and then erase the lines you don't need, darken the lines you're keeping. I got a lot of lines that I don't need. All right, and I think we should have a little light down here. So what we're going to do, we're just going to draw a little square in perspective, which if you'll know, square is 4 equal sides with right angles. So with right angles, perpendicular lines, they're going to line up to left and right vanishing points. I'm just kind of figuring out how wide I want it. All right, so you're just drawing right now 2 lines from the right vanishing point. Then we're going to figure out how wide we want it to be from the left. And again, this is perspective, so it's going to look a little bit wonky. You're going to have to kind of eyeball it to figure out if that's how wide you want it. All right, so I'm just going to erase whatever's extra. You could leave it like a square light. I'm going to make mine round. You just want to make sure you're drawing a circle inside. Cat. Sorry. My cat's very curious. Draw your circle inside that square and then erase the extra pieces. Okay, so now we've got a little light for our stoop here. All right, so this is the first building done. It's the only building where we're actually doing any detail, but we do have to kind of block in the other buildings. So I'm going to add this line back in past our staircase. So that line there, because we're going to have a building in this area and we're going to have a building here. So let's start with this building here. So we're going to line up, our ruler with this line up here. Give yourself some space between your buildings because we got a little alleyway here. We're going to draw a little trash can there. This building is taller than this one. So the second building here is taller than this one. So I'm just going to line up this with the right vanishing point and draw a line to the end of the page from the line we just drew. So from here all the way up. Okay, just a short little line. Let me fix that actually. There. Again, just a short little line up to the top of the page. Now you're going to erase everything inside here. And again, we're not doing any details on this building. We kind of reserved that for this one. However, if you want to kind of finish out this drawing using the same kind of techniques that we drew on this one, you can. You can add some details to this, windows, doors, whatever you want to add. I'm going to erase the horizon line where it cuts through this building too. All right, and so our last building is going to go on the other side here. Line your ruler up with this vanishing point. Again, give yourself some space between the 2 buildings. So this one's not going to actually line up with the base, that line here that's going to the right vanishing point. So it's actually going to go behind, the corner is going to be behind the stairs. Don't draw through your awning. This building is also tall. Okay, so now we're going to line up the top of this to the right vanishing point. And we're probably not going to draw a super long line, but just draw it lightly so you can erase part of it. Okay, so that's the line that I drew. Line your ruler up again with the vanishing point at the top of the page. This building should appear like it's getting farther away, so this shouldn't appear very long in comparison to that one. So draw a line from that line you drew from the right vanishing point all the way down to this line here. All right, and then erase whatever's extra. And then we got to line up this with the left vanishing point, so the top of this line here. All right, so this is almost all we're going to do. We do have to add a trash can. So I'm going to define the edges of this trash can right here. It's sitting on the ground right there. And then let's go maybe, I think this is going to be the farthest point down, so it's sitting on the ground here, and it's a curve, right? So I'm just going to kind of draw like an oval down here where it would sit, and it can't go past this line. And then I'm going to draw a line from this to this, right? So draw a line from here and here up to the vanishing point up top. All right, so now I'm going to curve it up because this trash can is above the horizon line. So I was drawing this trash can kind of like, you know, the Grouch from Sesame Street. That's kind of what I was envisioning, like one of those round metal trash cans. So they're going to have these little marks in them. See? And there we go. This is all we're doing for this 3-point worm's eye view drawing. Again, if you want to add details to these two buildings, you can. I just didn't want to do too much because this was supposed to be a relatively quick demo, so you can kind of see how 3-point works and if that's something you want to do.